Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest and most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and on occasion, make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled Married 16 Years. First, group activity involving 3 people might have ruined our marriage. And I'm speaking in code with the whole group activity involving 3 people, but this is YouTube, you have to be careful. And guys, this story is coming from the perspective of a woman, the wife, and she's sharing how one thing led to another in an evening of a lot of alcohol, where her husband pretty much orchestrated things to involve her friend with a certain group activity. And now she feels this completely ruined their marriage. And you're going to see here as I get into this that her marriage obviously wasn't exactly very healthy to begin with. Definitely was, in my opinion, a bit dysfunctional. And you're also going to see how she comes from a very dysfunctional family growing up. Big time. And it's any wonder that she ended up in a situation kind of like this now in her life. And this is why I always say a lot of times in bad families where there's turmoil between the parents, it's always best they break up and start over, because their kids are going to observe this and unfortunately may act that out and have relationships like that in the future, for better or for worse. So, but anyhow, guys, you're going to see here how the husband orchestrates things to have a group activity, and not very good. And it goes to show you, just again, as I said a lot of times on my other channel, we're in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 nowadays, and it's crazy. But anyhow, getting right into it, she says, I'm a 36-year-old female. My husband is a 44-year-old male. We've been married for over 16 years. Our relationship was good, normal ups and downs, no history of infidelity. In 16 years, just fights over whether one of us was crossing the line into flirting or getting too close to someone of the opposite sex. Well, that sounds like issues to me. And she may have thought that their family didn't have many issues because, as you're going to see, her family life growing up had plenty of issues. I did have some doubts at some point about whether or not he was having an affair, but we worked through it. I do suffer from severe depression, anxiety, and PTSD from having, let's just say, problems physically and emotionally by my parents, as well as S-word abuse when I was 14 by a boyfriend's dad who was in his 60s. Sometimes my anxiety gets the best of me. Well, considering her background there, what she's describing, is certainly understandable that she has a lot of depression, anxiety, and all that. And that's a lot of stuff going on. I was watching what I had to say there. But you're going to see here in her marriage, there's obviously issues. And it doesn't surprise me that she's in a marriage like this, coming from the past as she did. Says, I overthink things, but I've been working on it through therapy. We have 2 children, ages 4 and 6. I stay home and he works. We have some friends who come over sometimes, another couple, unmarried, but they've been together for about 7 years, and they have a 4-year-old too. Sometimes on weekends, we get the kids together to play outside, and they live very close to us. Same block. Usually they come over together and we hang out while the kids play. Yeah, well, the kids are having a play date, and as it seems the parents are going to be soon having a play date. Sometimes the kids go to bed early, and husband and I stay up drinking a few beers or wine and watching TV. We do this on weekends, either by ourselves or with this other couple. A few times in the past, we've had too much to drink, where we end up acting silly, like singing loudly, joking around, dancing together. A couple of times, she's kissed me, and I let it happen, and we laugh. Now we're getting to the bottom of things. Now we're getting to the good stuff. She says, I'm not bisexual, nor did I feel any particular feelings of liking women. It was a kiss, and I didn't like it, or I didn't hate it. Well, come on here. Admit it. It was either one or the other here. Obviously, you didn't hate it because you wouldn't allow. You would have been like, get away from me. So, be honest here. You liked it a little. My husband noticed and didn't care. He laughed and joked about it. Her boyfriend didn't notice, but she'd tell him afterwards, and he'd get a little jealous or call her a cheater. So, we got some drama going on here. They like to drink a lot, party, bring the neighbors over, and we got some turmoil and some drama going on here. What people invite into their lives never ceases to amaze me. Now listen to this. This one night, husband and I were having beers and watching TV, and I noticed he was texting. He says he's texting his buddies from work. I felt like a shot of tequila, and we each take a shot. He sends a picture of the tequila bottle and the beer to his buddies. After a little bit, he wants another shot, and we do another. Then our friend shows up, but she's by herself. Oh, how interesting. So, is she a part of the buddy list that he was texting about them doing shots and getting drunk? She says her boyfriend fell asleep and she heard we were doing shots. I guess he texted her because I did not. We do another 2 or 3 shots with her and a few more beers. This, in my opinion, is a lot of drinking here. I'm not a big drinker by any means. In fact, I next to never drink at home. So to me, this is a hell of a lot of drinking. And what usually happens when there's a whole lot of drinking, usually a lot of bad decision making. We started watching music videos and she wants to dance with me, so I do. And she kisses me, but this time we're making out and kissing. So is this a situation where she doesn't like it or dislike it like she claimed before? Her husband joins in and we end up going to the bedroom together at his suggestion. I was okay with it. Really? I thought this might be fun. We hadn't talked about potential group activity involving 3 people, so there were no rules or anything like that. It's not like planned group activities where each person can discuss which lines shouldn't be crossed, etc. This just sort of happened. I remember we went to the room and he helped both of us undress. We were still just kissing. The husband penetrates first, no protection, which is normal for us. He goes in and out a few times before he goes directly over to her. He continues to have you-know-what with only her. He walks away for a moment, comes back, and I figure, in my drunken mind, my turn now. He goes back to having you-know-what with her. At this point, I'm starting to sober up to what is happening. I'm watching while they have you-know-what in front of me. I lay there halfway in my right mind thinking, is this really happening? He does all the same tricks he does with me, only with someone else. And then he finishes. I don't know for sure where, because it was dark. He helps her back home, and I stayed vomiting my life out, wishing I hadn't overdone it. We went to sleep after it, and I had nothing left in my stomach. So, call me crazy, but it sounds to me that hubby says, let's drink a lot. Let's have lots of shots and beer. Sends a text, but only this girl comes over, coincidentally. Then she starts fooling around with the wife. Next thing you know, they just so happen to mosey on back to the bedroom and get it on. Except it doesn't sound like a typical throat's a little dry, bear with me guys, group activity. It seems like him and her, while the wife is laying there looking around drunk, wondering what's going on here. I think this was orchestrated. Call me crazy, but I really think it was. I wake a couple hours later. All right, bear with me guys, I normally wouldn't do this, but I am sore throat. I gotta have a drink. And no, it's not beer or tequila like the people in this crazy story. Anyway, I wake a couple hours later. I can't sleep. I'm sobering up, and I remember what just happened. I felt like an idiot. I noticed that my husband had remembered to do all the small nighttime routines that we do before going to bed. I realized at that moment that he wasn't so drunk. I felt like I gave him the red carpet for a group activity, and he just turned into sex with her while I wait and lay there while he's having you-know-what with her. I did bring up my feelings to him, and I told him how I felt, being left out as a spectator, and he felt badly about it and apologized. No, he didn't. Bullshit. He planned this whole thing, and so did she. I asked why. I told him how it left me feeling inadequate, like I'm not good enough, unwanted, my self-esteem totally trashed. He said he'll be honest, and the only reason was because it felt different and new with her. Now I'm left feeling the old throwaway. I'm left wondering if he will continue to chase that new and different feeling. I can't look at him the same because I see his face when he was having you-know-what with her. I can't talk to him or look at him because it still hurts and I feel betrayed. Welcome to the world of Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. And this is a situation where it's the guy acting out, not the gal. Now, obviously, there are some issues here. Yeah, she said she was drinking and obviously didn't stop this from going on here, but still, this was orchestrated by him as a way to get to the so-called friend. She says, am I okay to feel betrayed? I mean, I gave permission when we all got into bed together. I didn't try and stop it. I honestly was waiting for my turn, but it never came. And then when he finished with her, I can still hear him moaning and I see his face. It crushes me. I don't know what to do or where to go from here. The obvious would be couples therapy or maybe just therapy for me on this issue, but I need advice on whether or not this is survivable. I also feel extremely embarrassed and don't even know how to bring this up in therapy if I can ever go back. Well, given how she's feeling in the situation, I think definitely she could use some therapy, but she's obviously got a lot of underlying issues from her childhood. And you can see, obviously, things aren't too good. I mean, if the guy obviously needs to step out, then obviously it says everything. It would be if the situation was reversed, like most of these stories I do, and it was the woman that brought this up and orchestrated this. I would say pretty much it's over. And I would say the same thing here. Because this guy's trying to use these sneaky attempts to get some on the side. What's the point of being married? And being fair here. She says, my therapist has gone AWOL after this COVID pandemic. I feel like I have no one to talk to and just don't know what to do at this point. It's been 2 days since it happened and he was feeling very sorry yesterday. Today, though, he got angry because I ended up sleeping on the couch. I told him I was going to, but decided not to after he said please. And promised he wouldn't try anything S-word with me until I was ready. I lay there unable to sleep, replaying the situation, overthinking, wanting to cry, but I couldn't because he was sleeping already. After about 2 hours of that, I moved to the couch and just cried for about an hour. He saw I had gone to sleep on the couch and was angry. At this point, I'm also hurt and angry by his actions. Well, I guess she's upset and crying and letting out the emotions, but she's obviously got to communicate with the guy. But also, I think this woman needs obviously professional help, not just to deal with the situation now, but also her childhood and all that. And she sought out a guy. You see, again, growing up, she obviously had a lot of turmoil, to put it mildly, in her family situation. It wasn't her fault. And is it any wonder she's in a situation now where there's obviously turmoil and it's dysfunctional and all that? She sought that out with a dude she married. But the question is this the type she's attracted to? A therapist could break that down if she actually wants to accept it. She's not blameless in the situation, but he did take advantage of it. Let's be honest here. Says he's been home all day but doing nothing. Not helping with the kids or the schoolwork. I've been unable to look at him or talk to him. He's angry with me. I don't know where to go from here. Nothing can erase my memory of what happened. I can forgive, but how will I forget? If I can't forget, am I really forgiving? Please help. Please talk to me, DM me, leave me a comment. I feel like I'm a shred of my former self here. Okay, so that ends it. And before I get to the comments, which are always fun, I'll just say my piece. Just like I said in the story here. I think absolutely that it's over. Because obviously this guy, he and the girl planned this. Let's do a lot of drinking. I'll send you a text. Come on over here and you can give my wife a big old kiss. And next thing you know, we'll mosey on over back to the bedroom. That was planned. And if he's doing that, then obviously he doesn't care about her and love her enough. They could be just the two of them. So I would say it's over. That's my experience. And I would say the same thing. This was a guy writing the story and talking about, and his wife pulled something like this. Okay, that's what I'd say. But I do think she needs a lot of individual counseling because she's got a lot of things to work out. So I would obviously I would suggest she go to a therapist, help work things out. If her usual person isn't available, somebody else, and start looking at her options because obviously she's not happy. And the kid, she has kids, and they're going to grow up in this environment where there's a lot of turmoil. Mom and dad aren't happy. And where are the kids when all this is happening? I would like to ask. Are the kids in bed and they're just having drinks and doing all this? Not a good environment to raise children. No way, shape, or form. Does she really want her kids to end up in a marriage, in a situation like her one day? So, in that regard, also think about them. That's my suggestion. Now, as always, for fun, read some comments here, see what other people are thinking. One guy says, well, you were drunk, and I'm wondering if your friend's husband was aware this all happened as well, since he didn't react okay to her kissing you kissing her. Yeah, anyway, how about the husband of the friend that was there, or the boyfriend of the friend was there, and this guy was doing his girl? They didn't mention that. All this just sounds bad, to be honest. I definitely suggest therapy. Your friend's husband definitely deserves to know if they're strictly monogamous, but that's not your worry. Your relationship is. Another guy says, I wonder if he's been trying to make this happen behind the scenes for a while, trying to convince the friend to make such moves and see if you'd be okay with it, and he can figure out a way to naturally make it happen. Exactly, that's what I've been thinking. I wouldn't be able to trust either of them again, to be honest. I would want to end both relationships. husband and friend. He manipulated you the entire way and is trying to manipulate you now with anger. It feels kind of like gaslighting. I would definitely have him go stay somewhere else while I figure out what I want to do. And by the way, both these comments are from guys, they're not from women. Another guy says he wasn't texting his friends from work, he was texting her and lying about it, which means they've been talking behind your back. I'm willing to bet it was planned. You bet your butt it was planned. And last, another guy says that is not a group activity involving 3 people. That is cheating right in front of you. He deliberately set this up and expected you to be so drunk that you wouldn't be able to go along with things. His anger is manipulative. He expects you to apologize first so that his actions will appear more reasonable. He's full of crap. I agree. So I would say, over. Unless she's actually attracted to dysfunction, which there are plenty of people out there like that, and that would be on her. If she continues on this, then it's on her. You can't feel bad for her. But if she realizes it's over, he's finding a way to cheat. You can't trust this guy. He's obviously not happy enough with me as is. He's got to go out, go outside and step out and find a diabolical way to do it. Because mark my words, he'll do it again. Once a cheater, always a cheater. This is how it goes. And it goes both ways, both men and women. I'm fair here. This is the men's, my other channel is strictly a men's channel. This channel is mostly men too, but you get my point. It goes both ways. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And there'll be more turmoil. So she has to make the decision how to handle this. And if she stays in a relationship like this, any future issues and problems that arise, they're on her. As the saying goes, first time shame on them, second time shame on you. And again, she has to think about her kids. Because, come on, this was going on in the same house when the kids are just a few rooms away, sleeping away, and all 3 of them are getting down and freaky. Not cool. And then, of course, there's all the alcohol involved and other things like that, and not good. Best therapy, talk to a lawyer, find out your options, move on, get the kids out of there, and hopefully work things out so she can go off on a path that way her kids doesn't end up in a bad relationship like this down the road. Otherwise, she stays in this, and this will continue, and the kids will be in an unhealthy environment. That's my opinion on that. That's what I think. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.